We've got a news-filled show today with the Broncos bringing in a veteran quarterback for a rookie minicamp tryout. We're going to talk about the upcoming offseason schedule. Before we talk more about Desmond Ridder, though, just a quick PSA for the channel. This is actually going to be the last week of me hosting the Broncos Breakdown. Chat Sports has continued to grow, and Trace Mustakas, who's been on the channel for a couple of weeks now, will be taking over full-time. So we'll talk more about that towards the end of the week, but I just kind of wanted to start getting you guys up to speed on what's happening. But let's get into the news of the day, which is Desmond Ridder, the former Atlanta Falcons quarterback, and then Cardinals, and then Raiders quarterback. He is getting a rookie minicamp invite, which sounds a little strange because he's not a rookie, but the way I like to interpret news like this, because it happened last year with Ben DiNucci, is you can never have too many good quarterbacks. And I don't think this is obviously anything to do with Bo Nix, but I like to interpret this as the Broncos are going and getting ahead of, hey, we need a quarterback A for rookie minicamp just to get the drills going. So while we're bringing someone in, let's bring someone in who we think could be a decent practice squad possibility for us, just in case something were to go wrong at the top of the depth chart. Wouldn't be that bad to have done our homework in May with a veteran by having him tossed to rookies. And if we like what we see during that period, we can bring him onto the 90-man roster and let him and like Sam Ehlinger compete for that QB3 job at the practice squad spot. Because while sure, that doesn't seem very, important to us right now, who cares about QB3? And you're not completely wrong, but it feels like half the quarterbacks over the last 3 to 4 years at some point miss at least 2 to 3 games. So you want to have a good plan in place. You don't want your entire season to go down the drain because your quarterback misses a few games. And Sean Payton knows that all too well, in a good way. Remember when Teddy Bridgewater took over, our old friend Teddy, from Drew Brees, which eventually led to him coming to Denver, and he went 5-0 while Brees was out? That kept the season afloat for New Orleans. So Ridder, I view as being being added to the rookie minicamp as a, hey, can you just hang out with, be a camp counselor, throw the football around with some of the rookies here? And hey, if you do a good job of that, well, there's no reason why we can't have you aboard for OTAs, minicamp, and if those go well, maybe training camp, and we'll have 4 quarterbacks. Bo Nix and Jarrett Stidham are clear-cut running with the first and second team offense. But Ehlinger and Ridder, we want to learn, hey, which of the two of you is going to be the best addition to our quarterback room for helping Nix get ready every single Sunday? Who can do a good job of running the scout team offense, right? Who can go in there and help our defense get ready every single week? I know that it's not breaking news to the big picture things, but that does help get teams ready every single week for their opponent. So Desmond Ridder, who's been, a bit of a journeyman quarterback at this point, despite only being in the league for 2, 3, 4. This is his 4th season now, going from Atlanta to the Arizona Cardinals, where he got released and then joined the Las Vegas Raiders. He played a little bit for the Raiders last year. The thing with Ridder is he's not actually all that bad of a quarterback. He just is kind of the modern-day Nathan Peterman. He turns it over a shit ton. But if he didn't turn it over as much, I think he'd actually have a career as a backup quarterback in the league. But because people just do not trust him to get on the field and protect the football, he is now getting rookie minicamp invites. I don't think he's going to make the team if I had to, make a prediction on the matter. I think the Broncos bringing in Sam Ehlinger says a little bit more about what they think of him versus Ridder, and that they just wanted to bring an arm in for rookie minicamp. But we saw Ben DiNucci take advantage of that last year. He turned a rookie minicamp invite into a spot on the 90-man roster for the summer. Ultimately did not make the roster, but still gave him an opportunity to keep his name in the hopper. So do you want to keep Ridder as a backup? I know this is not a major storyline here, but just give me your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you don't care about that, which I don't blame you for, then just name a random Broncos quarterback. How about that? That's always a fun game to play. I'll go with Paxton Lynch. All right, let's switch gears and talk about just the entire future offseason schedule for Denver, because it is May 7th. A week from today, we get the 2025 schedule release. But before then, we've got some other important days in the calendar. But this is why you subscribe, because we're going to continue to provide free content all year long, the latest on your favorite team. And also, a lot of times during our watch parties and live events, we do fun giveaways. So if you want to be a part of a growing Broncos community approaching 40,000 subscribers, click that sub button down below. Now, let's talk about the off-season schedule, because rookie minicamp gets started tomorrow, believe it or not. Rookies are going to report. This is syllabus week. This is freshman orientation. This is not welcome to hell, get the pads on, and we're going to start playing football. No, a lot of this is running backs, go meet with the running back coach. Receivers, go meet with the receiver coach. We're going to give you the playbook. Learn it. Install it. Live and breathe it every single night. We're going to quiz you on it the next day. We want to see who's going to put the work in before we even sniff a helmet to make sure you are prepared for when you guys get on the field. It's a lot of that. It's also a lot of, there's the locker room, there's the trainer's office, there's the bathroom. It is, a walk around. This is not, filled with a bunch of intense practices. Sure, there's going to be moments where they get out on the field and they start to get guys moving a little bit, but this is install. I don't even say install. This is just orientation. This is walking around the facility. This is getting up to speed. And towards the end of the week, maybe they get the water balloons out, the water guns, and they play a little dodgeball. But this is not, groundbreaking stuff. So that is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then, like I said earlier, on 14th of May, next Wednesday, the NFL schedule comes out. Just we know the opponents, but, the who, the where, and the when. Not even the where, just the when. So then we get the OTAs getting underway, organized team activities starting May 27th, and then mandatory minicamp. This is, I'd say, the most notable event of the entire offseason, as it gives you an idea as to whether or not anyone's holding out due to a contract dispute. Plus, while it's not orientation, there is a little bit more, like higher speed, a bigger pace to it, better pace to it, where guys are out there and they're starting to work their tails off and get a sweat going to earn a spot on the roster in front of the head coaches. Now, one group I want to focus on that did not get focused on during the draft is the offensive line, because there are a lot of guys who either got rookie minicamp invites or were just undrafted free agent signings. So let's talk about those players, because I feel that for the rich history Denver has of finding hidden gems after the draft, they've done it so many times. They've got so many guys to their 53-man roster via the UDFA portal. The offensive line group for this year might have the best chance, especially on the interior. You've got Clay Webb, a former 5-star recruit, went to Georgia, did not work out in Athens, barely played, ended up transferring to Jacksonville State. Conference USA player, or Conference USA Conference Player of the Year, whatever their accolade was. That's one name to watch for, Clay Webb. He is a real, contender to push for a roster spot. I've got Marquise Cox from Kentucky. He started at Northern Illinois. He's got some potential as well. Joe McAlexy, I can't remember how to pronounce his last name, but he was the Big 12 Offensive Lineman of the Year 2 seasons ago. So these are some names to watch for as guys who are sleeper candidates to make the 53-man roster. Plus, you can never have too much offensive line depth. Even a season like last year where Denver had a good offensive line, I think we can all agree, I'm not going to compare it to the Eagles' O-line, but it was not priority number one going into the offseason. If you had to rank all 32 offensive lines, it'd be in the top half. Can we agree on that? But you might forget that the offensive line last year, it had some ups and downs to it in terms of availability. It was not one of the most injury-prone O-lines in football, but they worked through a lot of stuff last year. They were battle-tested. They had 5 different starting combinations or just in-game combinations. They had 8 unique starters. So while it may not seem super urgent in May and June, come October, November, there is, I believe, borderline nothing more infuriating than watching your quarterback get stapled into the turf because the left tackle got injured and the replacement is just out of his depth. So having good depth on the offensive line, it's not a sexy position to build up a lot of stock at, but it is very important. Okay, before we wrap up today's video, just a few more quick things. One, if you want to get a Jahdae Barron jersey, go to chatsports.com/Barron. Danny, I'm looking at you right now because you got in the comment section in the last video about this. So if you would like to add to your Broncos wardrobe, chatsports.com/Barron. I put that link in the comments and description of today's video. So just to put together my final thoughts on the offensive line, last year, like I said, I felt like it was an above-average offensive line. I'm excited for this unit in 2025. You can look at their PFF grades here. Bolles, McGlinchey, Meinerz all having strong seasons. Wattenberg hopefully taking a big, leap forward in year 2 as a starter. Powers a bit underwhelming, for just being honest, for what you paid him in free agency. But yeah, look, you got Bolles and McGlinchey, 2 top half offensive tackles. Meinerz ranking 2nd amongst all guards. Ben Powers, even if he's just average, if that's really as bad as it gets, having an average left guard, you're doing pretty well. And then Wattenberg ranking 18th out of 40 qualifying centers. If you just went off the 32 starting traditional day 1 starters, yeah, bottom half, but just barely. So the weakest link in this relay is someone who's the 18th best starting center out of 32. You could do a whole lot worse. Trust me. So we'll wrap up with this thought right here. Will a UDFA make the roster? Will the proud tradition of finding a UDFA for the Denver Broncos continue this offseason? It's not one of their best UDFA classes, but, there's always a guy or two that comes out of nowhere, it feels like. So I'll say yes. Why not? I'll play the odds here, and the odds are, knowing Denver, they're going to find a UDFA to make that 53-man roster. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you guys for the rest of the week, and we'll have more updates on, the future of the Broncos Breakdown on Friday and Saturday.